Um, Anyways, well, so like that's why like Resident Evil 4 will always be good.
Did you see Google?
If 4 remake ends up being good, it might be up there.
Yeah.
But still don't know.
We'll see.
So
We'll see. Yeah.
Resident Evil 8, I would probably put up there higher, depending on how it is as well.
Did you see
Because
that?
the game looks great. I mean,
look.
but it's also
I'm
iffy for me because
I'm okay with the.
you already know. I don't like what they did with stuff like the stuff like
the Chris.
and then you can see how it got influenced in 3 with like changing like the spider to like a weird mutated creature, even though it was just supposed to be a giant spider.
They wanted to go more monstrous.
So you see how like after Resident Evil 7 and then people liking 7 because like
they kind of seem like they want to go monster.
You know like the
I mean?
the main reason why like Resident Evil 7 became 7 like was because of like
Silent Hill, yes.
Yeah, because like PT was scrapped after. It's still bullshit. Like they should still like. They should come to an understanding and release it. You know, it's been like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
It's both sides. Both sides don't.
I know it's because they became in a disagreement and didn't happen. But like this many years passed, they can just go like, yeah, let's release it for the fans. We should like and especially for all the people that worked on it.
It's really one side says want to go one route, the other side wanted to go the other route.
I already told you the thing, like the stuff. Remember?
He left, and everything, and all this stuff happened.
So anyways, so like,
it's just they don't.
So with 7, I didn't. I mean, like the one reason. No option to switch between first and third person. You already know about that, because like Resident Evil has always been like either that overview, because that's how it was in the original Resident Evils, because that's the limitations of the time. And then when they're finally like with the newer consoles and whatnot, they're able to like change the angles and whatnot. And then there's that weird Resident Evil that it never gets talked about because they tried to experiment that where it's like moved with it and then had the over angle.
I definitely.
I think it's called Resident Evil
Survivor. Yeah, it's the one that.
And it just.
They talk more about them.
It just did so shit. It's just not talked about. And then you got 4 when they really innovated because they could try something new, because with the new technology they weren't just locked to the above camera. And they could move away from the tank controls. So
here's the
which
thing.
Really helped out.
I give certain games a chance, even if they did change things.
I know.
Change things about
when 7 first came out, I was watching it and then I was giving it a chance and everything. I was like, I was like, okay, it doesn't seem too bad. And then I even played the demo when the demo came out. I played it. I was like, this is weird.
When games change.
It was weird, but I was like, it's fine, right? Like I was like, it's not that bad, right? And then the game came out. I watched it. I was like, I don't really like it.
See,
it was a lot of reasons. Like yes, it went back to horror. But
the reason I like it more is because I actually like third person. I like that. I like
the first person.
Yeah, I like to feel.
I know
like
that's what I'm saying. Is that like, if they would just give that option like other games do, to switch between first and third, since they want people to play in first person, because because a lot of people say that for them, when you're in first person, it gives more of a scare.
Right? I'm not really.
No, but that's the whole reason why they're making 7 and 8 in first person. Because they know that like for some people, or a decent amount of people out there, first person makes it more horror-esque.
I'm not really more afraid. It's more I feel more immersed into it.
That's what I'm saying. They make it more horror.
Like that's me going through this thing, trying to survive.
That's the thing I'm saying. Is like they say it's more like a.
That's why I didn't want them to show Ethan's face ever, because I don't care.
Because when they did that, the people they're like, oh, there's Ethan, and they zoomed in on they tinkered with the camera, and then they zoomed in, like, oh, there's Ethan's face.
Because I don't care what he looks like. That doesn't matter to me. I liked the way I like to think it was.
No, but anyways, since like Resident Evil was always overview, then it went to third person forever, right? So like Resident Evil 0, 1, 2, 3, Code Veronica, the main main games that had that overview. So there's 5 games.
You see,
then there was 4, 5, 6. Operation Raccoon City, but people don't really care for that one, so I'm not even sure. I'll just count it. I'll count it. And then Revelations 2, and then now 2 and 3 remake. That's 8 games now.
Question.
I think I'm leaving. Oh. No, that's a side scroller. Like the arcade shooters, I think Umbrella Chronicles.
Question: Why?
No, Dark Side or both of them? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Dark
we have
Side
to aim at the arcade
side
shooters. I think they're both arcade shooters.
I thought they were side scrollers. One's a
or
side
like the
scroller.
camera moves on its own. You just aim at the screen with the Wii remote and you shoot.
I think one's like that. I think the other one's a side scroller.
I think Dark Side Chronicles is like that. Cause I think I remember renting it from Blockbuster. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like. This isn't. I was like, this is not Resident Evil.
This isn't Resident Evil.
I quit and then returned it.
This isn't a Resident Evil game. I don't know what the hell this is.
Because when I was younger, I was like, ooh, Dark Side Chronicles. I played. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I did like 2 levels. I was like, yeah, this isn't fun.
What I was gonna say.
I mean, we could play that because I'm actually into because there's story in there from some of the other stories and whatnot from like the other Resident Evils where it kind of fills in stuff. I think it also fills in like with the Krauser stuff or maybe Umbrella Chronicles.
I think
Either way, we should play.
No, Dark Side Chronicles is the
I know. I'm just saying we should probably play both of those to get them done, learn the story, and then like also have the channel.
Dark Side Chronicles is the one that does this.
Anyways, I don't know where to include those two because I don't really know because I've never played them, so I don't know what they are.
I think. Well, oh, you mean in the order of how good?
Yeah.
They are?
So no, because I'm saying that there's like 8 plus games that are third person.
Oh, okay.
And then there was like, what did I say? 5 that were in the overview. Yeah, I think there's like 5 or 6 or I don't know. 5 plus.
It's
that
funny.
are overview.
Either it's sometimes.
And I mean, I don't mind that 7 was only allowed you to be first person because with Resident Evil 4 and all that stuff, it was the first time it was in third person, not overview.
Oh shit.
You know, so I can kind of understand why they only had it in first person.
Back.
We'll be back. Resident Evil. So with the Resident Evil games that are like in first person and third person, like there ended up being more third person games. So when 7 went first person, I was kind of like, okay, I don't really mind it too much.
I would have loved a Silent Hill game in first person. I would have loved it.
That's what that's what PT was gonna be. Remember, it was first person, and that's why people were like, oh, that's why 7 was first person.
You know why?
Because Silent Hill PT, which was gonna be called Silent Hills.
Do you wanna know why?
Because at the end, when you beat the demo, it goes Silent Hills. And PT was just a demo.
Do you know why people were so mad about it? It wasn't just the game. It had the people that were involved in the writing. Like one of them's dead now, and it would and
they never got to see their.
They never got a chance to see their game go out. It's like, and he was like some Borg. I think it was George Romero. I don't know if it was George Romero. I don't know, but it was one of the big names in zombie horror. And he was in the writing of it, and it would have been amazing to actually see what his ideas for Silent Hill would have been. But now we will never know because they scrapped the time. And I don't even know if there's even gameplay.
So like with the Silent Hills per se, like they didn't seem like bad games. I can see why people liked them. Maybe if I grew up with them, I probably would have liked them. But just how like with genres and stuff, like. Which is why, like, when I watch them, I was like, yeah, I probably wouldn't play them, but they don't seem like bad games.
You see,
maybe if they were to release a new one.
I grew up with both, okay? And I was always drawn towards Silent Hill because I also liked Dead Rising. I liked.
Oh no, yeah, I get that.
So I was more into.
I never really played Dead Rising growing up either. So.
And I also was more into.
Also, I think I would have liked Dead Rising more if I grew up with it too. Because watching it seemed kind of fun. Except the one thing that always drove me away was having to rescue all the people, which is why I was like, Dead Rising was fun, but like, oh, you have to save the people.
You have to save people.
I don't want to babysit.
That is technically the entire thing.
That's the one reason why I never really ended up playing. Because the first one you had to babysit.
The thing is, though, people didn't.
Didn't the second one you didn't have to babysit? The
second one you still did, but they were better. They
improved on it.
See, the first one was almost like they kind of hit
It's because it was new, and so they had to flesh out the controls for the second one.
But they kind of they did hit the nail on the head because because, for example, people didn't know what zombies were. So people wouldn't know how to act in a zombie apocalypse.
Exactly.
Now with the second one, it's been a few years, people know how to act. So I can see how they did. They did a good job. Because people now know how to
But like
act
I was
on
saying,
it.
the reason why I just couldn't get into it was kind of like stuff
The
like that. I was
rescuing
just like,
people.
I don't want to have to go babysit them. I never liked having time limits in games either, because it's just like, oh shit, I have to rush everything.
Which is something people. It's the same reason why you said I would probably like Majora's Mask because of the time limit. But I don't like that much.
Because there's a lot of games you played with time limits.
In Zelda games, I actually like exploring.
Well,
stuff.
also it's kind of like puzzle-esque because if you don't have enough time, then, you get to the dungeon, and you just reset the time, then start exploring the dungeon. You know. Because you get as I've heard, apparently when you get to a dungeon, you can reset time to bring you back to the beginning of the dungeon.
But you lose all.
So like if you spend too much time getting to the dungeon, like if you just make it there in time and reset time, then you should be fine, you know. That's what seemed like if you think about how to do things, and like you can explore most of the dungeon and then go, okay, this is how you do the dungeon, and speed run it. It doesn't seem that bad of a thing. I never liked being timed.
I've always heard that the water temple is the worst temple. It's absolutely the worst.
Every Zelda game, the water temples, like everybody's like, fuck the water temples.
It always seems like that every time. They can't. It's not. They try to make it more difficult than it has to be. It seems like.
And they too much back and forth. It always seems like they make you go forward, then they make you backtrack. Then they make you go forward, then they make you backtrack.
You will definitely hate Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess.
Water Temple, because it definitely is like that. It's a spire like the.
There's a few things in Skyward Sword that made me go back and forth.
You see, you know how they did the spire in all these different games. It's an actual spire underwater that you have to keep moving around. Yeah, you have to. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle of a temple inside of a temple.
I'll probably be irritated while I'm doing it, but then after I'm done, I'll be like,
I do have a book that will help you out. If you
and you've done it before, so you could probably just make it faster.
And I still don't remember it that much because I did it a few times. I'm like, fuck.
Oh yeah, I noticed one thing with us. We'll be talking about one thing, and then we'll get we'll relate something to it, and then we'll get completely go sidetracked. I was talking about like Resident Evil 7, why I don't like it, and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden now we're talking about Legend of Zelda because it went from Silent Hill to something else, and then to Legend of Zelda. It's like, wait, how did we get there?
You see, I do agree with you on when it comes to certain games, when they switch something, I don't like it that much.
Yeah, and that's why I was trying to when you kept getting mad at me with not liking Resident Evil 7, then I kind of put in perspective when you said you didn't like DMC. The remake of Devil May Cry, which was not even that good.
It wasn't the game. The game was good. It was the character.
And then there was another game from a franchise. I think you said Dead Rising 4,
but then replaying it a second time, it seemed better than I remember.
It was. I think it was the whole thing with killing Frank, and then
that was actually the reason.
And then selling the real ending as DLC. Selling it, not just giving it for free.
Yes, that actually.
That was the thing that kind of got you to not liking it. That's what you're saying.
I think the reason I didn't like DMC was because Dante wasn't Dante.
Is there another franchise where you like the series except one game which you're like this is not this is not Sonic, or this is not Mario, or
Final Fantasy 13.
This is not Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns was not Final Fantasy.
The third one? The third one out of the 13?
Yes. You had to work around 14 days.
Oh, another time thing.
A time one. And the only reason why I didn't like it is because I got everything done before the 13 days, meaning I had 6 days left to do nothing.
Oh, you got it too quick, and then you had to wait.
I even killed all the monsters. I killed all the monsters, so there was
it's
no
one of the
monsters
cases where they gave you too much time.
Yeah. I killed all the monsters, and there were no
They're
monsters.
They're probably being lenient for people that were probably not so used to it.
But it did help me because I did have a walkthrough of what you should.
Oh, that.
A walkthrough of the quest.
Kingdom Hearts. So Rechanted Memories was You know, like the whole card game thing.
Yeah,
they
so
wanted to try
They
getting.
wanted to try
it,
something new, and I hate
I always heard that people don't like Free Channel Memories because of the card gimmick. It just made it like the story was fine. Just the gameplay was kind
Someone
of
was
ass.
saying where they stopped understanding the story was when Free Channel Memories came out. And the person
Because
said,
you're playing a card game.
But the person said, you can understand the story really well. It's just you have
to play a lot of the games to start piecing it together.
to understand the story.
So you have to piece it together bit by bit. Okay. So Rechain of Memories was kind of like, it was way different than the rest of Kingdom Hearts. Because you weren't really playing Kingdom Hearts how Kingdom Hearts was. You had to collect cards, and yeah, it was just completely different. But it was still Kingdom Hearts.
I was able to beat both Kingdom Hearts Rechain Memories,
but
both Riku and Sora.
The best example for like my Resident Evil example is like DMC with the Devil May Cry.
Yes,
like DMC was not really Devil May Cry.
Shit.
So anyway, so I played the demo. I was like, okay, this doesn't seem that bad. Then the game came out, watched it, and then I slowly started liking it less and less because it was just like, okay, so they went with like more of like it really reminded me of like, you know, Amnesia and Outlast, like the way the monsters and creatures looked like. They were just weird monsters, and then like I guess Silent Hill had some really weird monsters too, and they just went with that.
You see,
and then like
when you get away from the numbered versions of Silent Hill, that's when people start not liking them. But I like the.
I heard one. What was there was a Silent Hill like here people don't like that much. What do you know what that one is?
Well,
I can't think of it. I don't think it was Homecoming. I think it was a different one.
So 4, in number 4.
It was a one with a word, like not Homecoming.
Is
Downfall, Downpour. That one?
Downpour? No, it's probably Book of Shadows or Book of Secrets.
I feel like it was Homecoming or like Downpour. I don't know.
See, Homecoming is more like Resident Evil 2, the second Silent Hill, because it's more about Pyramid Head, more about that stuff. While Downpour is more the idea that it actually is a world where bad people go when they do bad things and they have to regret it.